Hey everybody, welcome. Happy Friday night. I hope that you had an awesome day today. I know some of you are already back at work, some of you are in the middle of your summer professional development, others of you are okay, buddy. Others of you have already been teaching students. I know I taught students this week. And I know Bertha did too. Oh, she's joining me. Yay, Bertha's here. Hola, Bertha.
Hola.
How are you?
I'm doing great, but I am not gonna lie. I am tired.
Oh my gosh. I was literally just telling people, like, I know some people are coming here after having taught students for the first time in a while. And Berta, I'm right there. I got to my desk at 4 o'clock after dismissal duty, and I had like 5 things I wanted to get done before I left work. And I found myself just sitting there for the first 10 minutes doing like staring at the wall. And then I got on Instagram and scrolled for 20 minutes, and I was like, I can't, I'm brain dead. I can't do anything. I'm so tired and also physically exhausted.
Yes, yes. I was not prepared, and I know we're gonna talk about music, but this is something so real. I
Mhm.
was not prepared. This is my third day with students. We started on Wednesday, and every single day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was prepared to deliver my class, but I was not prepared to have the pain on my feet I felt at the bell. Like I was like, what happened to me? I know I gained a couple pounds, but come on now.
That's what I told Paul, who has to zip up my dresses in the morning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need to get back at the gym. But I'm telling you, I wore hola Melanie. I wore my Doc Martens yesterday, and I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. But even today, my Converse, this is second day for me with kids, and I have 7 classes in a day, 45 minutes each, and they're back to back to back to back to back to back. And
Yeah.
I'm telling, and of course I'm just moving. We're just moving all the time. So
Mhm.
oh my gosh, my feet are exhausted. Hey
Yes.
Jennifer. Um,
Yes.
we love that you're engaging in the comments. We're so excited to be here with you tonight. And thank you, Berta, despite like being exhausted. Thanks for joining me on my YouTube and Facebook channel to talk about easing in with music. Um, it's something we both care so much about. So I'm really glad you're here.
Yes, and I am so excited that I'm here too because I can't wait to tell you, Annabelle. So as the conversations goes, I'm just gonna tell you something that happened this week in my class, week one, with my students that has to do with music.
Yay! I'm so excited. That is so exciting. Yeah, I mean, I know now that I've met my students, I'm like, I can't wait to jump into music with them. It's going to be amazing. So I have some questions for you, if you're okay with me just rattling off some questions.
Mhm.
And I know that we've presented before on this topic, and since we've done a lot this week talking about music in the language classroom, I'm giving you some different ones that I haven't asked you before, if that's okay, because I want to, like, there are people here, I'm looking at some of the names that are here that have seen like our Instagram from earlier this week, so I want to give them a variety, since they're like, oh, give us all the music ideas. So I'm
Yes,
gonna
and
change
I will try my best not to cough. But as you know, I've been having this problem with my cough, so bear with me, please.
that. No worries at all. Yes, la música está viva. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so what if you had to narrow it down to 3 student facing benefits for easing in with music at the beginning of the year? What would those 3 student facing, like specifically like why it's important for student benefits? Thanks, buddy, for using it in the classroom. And I'll go on mute for Memphis.
Okay. Well, I think the number one benefit is that we have mentioned already. It music and songs are students' universal language. They are already so invested in songs. They are already. This is something that is part of their lives, just like it's part of our lives. We use music to bring us joy to our lives. We use music to connect with feelings sometimes. Sometimes we use music to connect with feelings we should not be connecting with, but that is another story. But music is so real and so alive for that reason. And what a wonderful way to connect with the student's heart than through music. So I believe that that's the first reason. The first benefit is that you make a connection that is very deep, and through that connection you can make other connections and bring other things to your class. A second benefit would be obviously being in charge, and yes, in charge, you the teacher being in charge of bringing joy to your class anytime you want to. That's like the biggest one for me, because we can bring amazing lessons all the time, but then we get tired. I don't know about you, but my lessons are not like amazing every day. I try to have engaging things going all the time, but then comes November, then sneaks in April, and it's like, oh my God, are we gonna make it? And music, it's a perfect way to solve that, to bring that boost of engagement during those dry spells of months that we have to go through. And of course we have to, it's not just fun and games, it's not just music, it's not just dance, even though it may seem like we're talking about that. That's not what we're talking about at all here. That's just like a byproduct of all the joy. But essentially it opens the door to so many, to like, for me, when I'm bringing a song and I'm talking about an artist, we get to meet that artist, even though that artist is not like flesh and blood in there. Like, it's like he or she or they are there. It's like we develop this connection with them. And I mentioned to you once, Annabelle, that I had when I introduced Camilo, because I know that I'm not the only teacher whose students love Camilo. uh, and I remember when he first revealed that he was having a baby, a student of mine actually was the one who said, "Did you know that the newest song Indigo was dedicated to their child?" And I thought that was so cute. And they were just so excited about it and sharing the joy for Camilo, having a baby and announcing it. And the way that they did it was so special. So we totally talked about this with our learners. I took about 5 minutes to to pull up a picture, right, and talk about Camilo and Eva Luna, and that they were having a baby, and we did that in the target language. And then we play a little game, and then we moved on. And that was not even part of the lesson that day. So those little magical moments, those connections, that appreciation for the music in the target culture, and not just like pop culture music, but just like all the music, because we talked about bringing and exposing our learners to all the genres possible.
Yeah, and it's not really just, it's also inspiration, right? You're inspiring them to go beyond your classroom walls and like
Yes.
explore this music or this artist or whatever more. It's opening their eyes to maybe music that they wouldn't have thought they could even like before.
That
Hey,
happens so
baby.
often. Evie. Yes, that happens so often that many times, and I have had teachers tell me, "How did you get your students to like música regional mexicana?" Because and unless you teach at a school that has predominantly Mexican students, it's not. I love música regional mexicana, but then again, I'm Mexican. But I know a lot of people who do not. Like, my husband does not like banda, and we have an issue with that. But that's his preference, and he's allowed to have that. But for me, I every genre that I have brought to my learners, I managed to hook them somehow. Because it's how we present it. And I think you and I, Annabelle, have talked about this. We have talked about, if you find a song and you don't quite like it, well, maybe that's not the song you want to bring to the
Right.
students. But as a consumer of music, you also want to challenge yourself to hear other genres and to expand, because how can we expect our learners to be open if we're not willing to be open ourselves?
Yes, exactly. And um, I think both of us started in a very different place with music, but both of us also started very like only showing a certain kind of style or only a
Yes.
certain artist. And so we've both grown a lot from that aspect. And I think it's also important to recognize like our students listen to different genres. You have your K-pop students, you have your students who love hip hop and rap. You have your I have students who love jazz music. I live in New Orleans. Like, so the range of what they like is wide, and we should also provide that varied content. I love that. Bonjour, I'm so excited you're here. Welcome, welcome. um So, oh, awesome. You do Música Miércoles. That's so fun. I love that. So, one of the things that I wanted to ask that kind of builds on that, and now my son took that, stole my list. So that's fun. Okay, I'll do the next one that I remember. I'll pull up on the list another way. God, I'm like, he's like, Mommy, I'm a doctor. This is my medical slip, and stole. I'm like, okay, take it. Um, what is a benefit for the teacher? Just one benefit for the teacher. I noticed when you were talking about the benefits that are student facing, every single benefit you listed incorporated the word joy in some way. I don't even know if you heard that for yourself, but every single benefit incorporated the word joy, which I think is remarkable because that's the number one thing we always talk about. So, what is the number one teacher facing benefit to easing in with music?
Well, yeah, I did not even notice that every single one of them incorporated the word joy, which is pretty outrageous. And as you know, in a good way, of course, as you know, and I have shared, and if you do not know this, and I always openly share, I always go back to that dark place last year. At the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the year, I told you, Annabelle, and I share with my Instagram community as well, and every my newsletter community, Facebook community, that I was dealing with generalized anxiety disorder. And the only thing that could bring joy to my classroom at the beginning were honestly like lessons infused with music
Mm.
because of the connection. It's like I would say that one of the because we want to have a strong classroom community. Music also allows us to build a strong classroom community very quickly, depending on the activities we bring to the table to our learners. So it only strengthens that community. It unifies us. And now it's a time for me to share that one thing that I said that happened this week. So I had my Spanish 3 class, and half of them came from the other teacher, and half of them are mine from last year. But the other teacher that was there the last 9 weeks, she was a long-term sub. So
Oh,
what I did is I gave her my lesson plans. So I did not want her to like struggle or anything. So I was like, if you're okay with this, I will tell you what I'm doing with level twos, and we'll meet once a week, and I'll go over the lessons with you, and you can just teach them. And she did that. She did just that, and she was so grateful for that. And so I have my students, new students, half of them new students to me, and the other half they already knew me, right? And then day one, they're singing songs from last semester,
oh,
like the little group that I had. And then the other kids from that other teacher, they're like, that's that song we used to listen to. That's the song we used to listen to. And then the next day, the first day, I did not play any music. I'm not going to lie to you. I did not play any music. And then the second day, we were doing an activity, and I had them working in groups for like 5 minutes. And one of them was like, Profe, por favor, la canción de Negrito. Profe, por favor, la canción de Ropa Cara. So they were asking for all the songs we had done, and it was marvelous because I played it and they were singing. They were singing. The other class and my class together singing, and I really didn't have to do much. And I was just like, wow, they
does that
remembered
make you
it.
emotional? It makes me emotional when things like that happen. Like piel de gallina,
Yes.
like really like goosebumpy and like, oh my gosh. There's three vivid moments I remember that felt like that for me. And I can't even imagine. I would be even more emotional if it was like a class that I didn't have and mine coming together over a song that like how powerful. Um, Mine were all at school dances where children went up in secret to ask the DJ, hey, can you play Soy Yo? Hey, can you put on Bicicleta? Hey, can you put. And then come and grab me and bring me into the dancing with them and the joy with them at school dances. Like I'm a teacher, what? But like they're all singing it and surrounding me, and I'm like crying my eyes out because I'm so happy. And like those moments are like, oh my gosh, look at what we've created. And it's not just my seventh graders, my sixth graders are there, my eighth graders are there, and we're all like unified in this song because of what it's done for the classroom community. So I agree, Bertha, that would be my number one teacher.
Absolutely. And I mean, this is the conversation where we are just like sharing. But I remember seeing last year there were some sad news in a page. I don't remember which page, and they were talking about how some students had complained about Mexican students, not Hispanic. Hispanic students are Mexican students, but I mean they did not say Hispanic students. Say Mexican students had requested a Mexican song, and the students in that particular school had like protested and sat down while the time of that Mexican song was playing. So I shared this with my students in class. I shared the news, and they were like, that would never happen here. We will dance with them. Like we already know how to dance that song. Like and I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And that's why we need to be, sharing our music with learners, sharing all genres.
And
Um,
that's why it's important. It's crucial. In fact, it's crucial.
Absolutely. And when we're talking about artists, it's another powerful way to deliver input, to deliver comprehensible input um, with acquisition driven instruction. It's another powerful way to do that because my friend Claudia Elliott, I always say this quote by her because I love it. She says, you can appreciate that which you don't know.
Mm.
Okay. So if your students do not know and they can't feel our passion for the target culture, if our students do not know the people and their struggles, or maybe not their struggles, their successes, how they have rised up to help others, and what they're doing. For example, many of these artists are doing amazing things for others. Look at Chucky Town. Look at other. Just there's so many other artists who have a lot of foundations and they help out a lot. So I think it's wonderful to share that with our learners. So we get to know the artists. We get to deliver input. So we can deliver input every day about a different artist if we wanted to. Of course, that I don't recommend doing it every day, but if we wanted to, we totally could.
Yeah, I think it's really truly magical. Okay, I got one for new teachers who are new, not necessarily new to acquisition driven instruction or new to the classroom, but if you were talking to me 5 years ago when all I had ever done was like play music when they were entering or leaving or for a brain break or send your woolly outside of that, what would be your a recommendation for them of where to start or maybe a good activity to start with if they're unsure of where to begin?
Okay, so first I will tell them keep doing all of that because all of that's good. Okay, so nothing has to go. All of that was great. But first of all, we tend to get super overwhelmed when we are wanting to make changes. And
Mm.
sometimes we want to do too much at once. So I will recommend just like trying anything new that is massive, right? Take it one strategy at a time. Apply one strategy at a time as you are comfortable. Maybe that means you're going to try one strategy once a week, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're going to try one strategy once a month, whatever it is you're comfortable with. Um, so, research some strategies, in this case, music related activities, strategies that you can bring to the classroom. Find one that you like because I love so many people that I follow and I learn so much from so many people that I follow, but I know what's going to work in my classroom and what isn't. And
Yep.
even though sometimes I'm like, that may not work for me, I still try it, Annabelle,
Yep.
because I might be wrong. It may work. So I even go as far as trying it. So I would say yes, continue doing what you're doing because you're not doing anything wrong. But now let's be a little bit more intentional. If we really want to take the way we integrate music in the classroom to another level, or we want to take off because maybe we're not doing anything with music, the only thing we maybe know how to do, because that was me the first 3 years, close activity, close activity,
Mm-hmm.
close activity with Biri Biri Bamba, with Como la Flor, with Vivir Mi Vida. Like that's all I had my students listening to. Um, and I did not know because I did not know what I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So, but now we know better, right? So we do better.
Right.
Uh, and uh, and yes, so I would say we have to be intentional. We have to search activities that we know have worked. Try those. Try the simplest ones first, and then try some of the more advanced ones as well. So it's how much comfort. What's your comfort level with trying new things?
Yep.
But no matter what, you got to keep trying those
Yeah.
new strategies.
Yeah, I agree. I think the way I eased in was I was like, oh, if I'm just going to play this music, I could totally just talk about the person who made it and make a story with basic, like I teach novices more than upper levels, right? So like, hay una persona, there is a person, her name is Shakira. She has a family of four. I'm just trying to remember my slides of when I taught a certain one. She helps people by building schools, or like all these things that I just used high frequency words that I knew my kids knew. And that was my way of easing in, was like a simple story using the high frequency language, talking about a real person who
Mhm.
sings this song. And that was an easy entry point in. And when I saw how engaged kids were and how that immediately they were like following this person on social media, downloading their stuff on Spotify and Apple Music, I was like, oh wow, this is this is big. I should do a lot more with this. So yeah, what Berta said, keep doing what you're doing and be bold and brave to take risks and try new things, because that's the only way you're going to know whether it works, know whether it's engaging for your students, and know whether it feels good for you, and it builds the community that we are talking about, because we're confident it will, but you have to be willing to take that risk and try those new things. Berta, I have another question specifically related. This will be the last major one. Um, you you touched on it a little bit related to your own personal mental health. Um, Last year was brutal for students, for faculty. We saw teacher turnover like never before,
Mhm.
and I'm not upset with those teachers. In fact, I'm proud because they put their mental and emotional health first. They knew enough was enough. Um, how I've heard you before at our workshops, when we've presented, talk about how you incorporate SEL with music and how you marry the two. And I haven't yet heard specifically how you do that. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about maybe an activity you do to pair or to marry SEL, social emotional learning, with music.
Yes, that's a great topic. The way that I like to marry, well, there are several entry points for SEL with music. That's why I was just like, oh my God, there's so much potential here. So, at the most superficial level, and I don't like to use the word superficial, but I'm going to use that one right now. At the most superficial level, we can start a song, because one of the competencies of uh, SEL is self awareness and identifying feelings and emotions, right? And then also in level one, that's part of what we are teaching students, emotions. So that's one easy way to do it. At the beginning of a song, we can prepare a slide that says in the target language, what do you think is the tone of the artist in this song? And then you can put sad, happy, romantic, or like no, well, in love, I would say in love, or scared, or all of those that our students will know. Maybe with an upper level class, I will use a few more, but with like if they're just like level one babies, maybe I'm only gonna do four. That's it, and with a lot of scaffolds and visuals and pictures so that they know. I can also ask them once they once they if they hear it, how what is that emotion in the artist, right? Or what does the music sound like to you? So so not only what emotion is that of the artist, we're going to try to guess, right? But also, what is the emotion it makes me feel when I listen to this music? So they don't even have to understand the song at this point. This is at the beginning, just to have them connect with the song from the beginning. Okay, so the artist, their voice, what are they portraying? What emotion are they portraying? And then the second question, well, how does it make me feel when I hear the song, when I hear that voice, or that interpretation? What do I feel? I don't know, peacefulness. Do I feel scared? What do I feel? And then other questions. So those are the two emotions, those two questions that have to do with emotions. And then I may ask them, would you like to listen to more songs by this artist? Would you recommend this song for a friend? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you recommend this song? And then I would say something, does it make you go to sleep? Does it make you want to dance? Like just little Q&As like that. But really the two questions at the beginning are related to emotion. So that's in the more superficial form of social emotional learning we can integrate right there, identifying feelings and emotions. And then there are some other songs, and this is so important. This is a question I get many, many times. You and I get it all the time. It's like, how do you pick the songs? How do you select the songs? And everybody has different ways to go about that. And we have talked about this already in the live we did, I believe, in Instagram.
Yes.
Um,
Instagram.
but we're gonna look at it right now at the angle of the importance of bringing clean music to the classroom.
Mhm.
That is very, very important. Now, I know that I can get away with with showing a lot of videos at my school. I won't say that are not appropriate, because I will never show my learners something that is not appropriate. But for example, there's a video by Camilo called Millones. It's a song I did with my learners, and he is prepping drinks, but obviously the drinks don't have a label. So, but we know what kind of drinks those are. However, when I play that video for my learners, I always said, bebida sin alcohol, clase, bebida sin alcohol. So that was like a lesson for me to promote no alcohol.
Yeah.
Um, Same with another video, because that's something that happens a lot. There are videos where like they're actually really good, and they don't have any like naked people in there or anything like that. So but sometimes I see bottles, and the bottles don't have a label. So I always have to emphasize bebida sin alcohol. Um, and so, but there are some songs again that have some very positive messages. And I try to find those songs about gratitude, songs about forgiveness, songs about, just a positive outlook in life. So songs that are positive body image. For example, there's a very old song by Prince Royce. I don't have any material on this song, but now that I think about it, it's like, why don't I have any material on this song? So, oh my goodness, I forgot. It's so old. It's just y el corazón no tiene cara, something like that. But it's a song by Prince Royce, and it talks about positive body image. Okay, so he's saying the heart doesn't have a face, and he doesn't care what the girl looks like. So, just thinking about those songs, we can do a lot. We can create some activities in the TL, in the target language. And I'll give you a quick example of that. So take a song like the song Gracias. This is a song called Gracias by Los Polinesios, which is a band that I work with that is not very popular. And it's popular in Mexico, but not like Shakira popular. So they have a song, and basically in that song, they are showing gratitude for family, friends, and different people. So I can take those lyrics, and I can have my learners maybe are not going to know every single one of the lyrics, but actually those lyrics are pretty good for like an intermediate, low, novice, high. So the learners can take those lyrics, and they can identify the words and lines they know, and I can have them create a note for like somebody they want to be grateful to using lyrics.
I love that.
Showing gratitude to your mom, showing gratitude to your dog. I had kids who are like, I really can't think of anybody. Can I do it for my dog? Yes, you can do it for your dog. So that's just one example. Then we have the other example too. This is something that you can do over and over. You can do like blackout poetry, where you just kind of like shade in and just leave the words that are meaningful to you, or reveal a message with that. So if you've never done blackout poetry, you can go on YouTube and you can find search blackout poetry, how to do blackout poetry. If you teach elementary, you can put elementary or middle or high school, and I'm sure you'll find tons of videos that tell you how to do it. That's another very powerful way to do it. So those are just a few of the many ideas of how you can integrate SEL in the class.
I've never thought about doing blackout poetry with songs. I do it with other things, but I've never thought about doing it with songs. And I think that's a really powerful way to like, again, use those lyrics. I know that when we were on Instagram and in the podcast that we just did together, I shared that I didn't used to do songs specifically because of the lyrics being too much and too overwhelming. And that's a way that kids are automatically going to scratch out the words that they don't know and
Yes.
leave the ones that have meaning or that they recognize. So that's another great, I love that strategy. I'm going to use that for sure. Every time I present with you, I walk away with something myself. And we do this a lot together. And I'm always like, oh, there's another one. That's great.
Same for me. Same for me. But yes, I love the blackout poetry, and I love to do it at the end, after I have gone over the song and done everything I've done with the song, because now they have actually whatever, stuck with them, they have it, they own it by now. So now they can actually, as opposed to doing it at the beginning, then they're not going to know as many of the words or connect with as much of the word, as many of the words of the message.
It's that connection. It's what's meaningful based on what you've done already in class and what's important to them. That's what I think. I love that very much. Okay, Berta, I am super excited. This is already posted in the description of our video, but I was wondering if you wanted to talk about why we've been doing so much about music this week and why we are so excited to share.
Okay, well, as Annabelle mentioned, we have been presenting on the topic of music for a while, together for a while, on several occasions. And every time we talk for an hour, it's not enough time for us to share everything we do in our classes with our learners. We really, honestly, we could talk for hours and hours and hours. In fact, we have 5 hours and counting already. So, with that being said, because we wanted to make it sure that we share this with all the teachers who wanted to be part of this, we decided to create a course together that is called Music to My Ears. And the whole purpose of that course is to share with you. And we really, like I said, I keep saying this, but it's the truth. We pulled the curtain. We're not holding back. Every single strategy we know about music, it's in that course. So all we talked about, the only thing I did not put in the course, and I might have to go back and add that video, is the Blackout Poetry.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't see that. But I mean, truly outside of that, every single thing that either of us have ever done with music or related to music, even things that we have pulled from other places that Berta has curated extra resources for you. Everything we've ever done related to music in one place and in bite-sized chunks that easily you can digest, like 2 to 5 minute video chunks, learn a new strategy, and take some action steps away so you can immediately go and apply it in your classroom and see huge results with your students, especially increasing the joy, the community, all the things we've talked about tonight. And we just realized that every single time we present, we bring out another strategy, just like what happened tonight. And we were like, we really need to 45 minutes at a conference is not enough time to talk about all the ways that we incorporate music into our class and how we are exposing our students to real authentic culture with the authentic resource of the song and diving deep into language in ways, even with my novice learners. And what I will do this year, even with elementary, this course is more geared to middle and high school, but truly how you open that door for inspiration, joy, and community in your classroom all through music.
And while we do want you to join the course and actually go through it in order. That's our recommendation. But I have to say that the way we designed it, we have pre-listening activities, processing activities, ideas for output activities, and then we have we have them all divided into sections. As Annabelle said, if you only have 10 minutes a day, you can go inside the portal and learn a new strategy in 10 minutes, because there'll be videos that are very short and some other ones that are longer ones, but they're all great. And we have dozens of strategies. There's so many strategies, like every single one that I use and that Annabelle uses, it's in there. And in addition, if you are, this course is for all world language teachers, but because we're both Spanish teachers, we have one of the bonuses is already 2 ready to use units. Actually, there's more than that, okay? But that we are putting in the bonuses is 2 ready to use units, where you can, everything you learn through the course, you can implement it right away because you have a unit, whether it's one of my units or whether it's my friend Claudia Elliott's unit that she graciously gave us for the course. And then also in the curated resources, I have searched for all the units that I've used that are free out there, because there are units that other amazing teacher creators have done that are free. And I actually put all the links together in one place for you. So there's at least about 4 or 5 units in there. That's maybe 5 weeks worth of classwork, lesson planning saved. And you can use it whenever you want to bring joy to your classroom.
And I think one of the other things that is there that is really important, and you mentioned it early in the chat, is like when you talked about one of the benefits, student facing benefits, is even on our hardest days when we're like, oh, I can't even, you can still pull a template that you have or an idea that you have for music you've already done or a new song, pull a template, plug the song, go, and have really rich, really engaging, authentic content for your students with very little prep, because you already have a ready to go template and a resource that you've learned about in this course. And I think that like you can be the person who plows through a whole course and like watches it all at once on a Saturday, or you can be somebody who once a week is going to watch a 5 to 10 minute video and go and think about, okay, how am I going to do this in my class? What's important is the follow through piece, because we are positive this course is powerful. We're already getting comments like Eunice's saying, I highly recommend this course. We're already getting that. We've opened it this week and people are already reporting back to us like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I can't believe all of it's in one place. Now, the follow-up is, how are you using it? What are you doing with these resources? What are you doing with these activities? And what are the results? Because the reason we titled it Music to My Ears isn't necessarily about the music. It's about the joy you're going to physically feel and hear from your students, like the examples we shared. It's using music to infuse that joy and inspire your students in your world language classroom to really go beyond your walls even and continue listening and exploring that music
and be in a position to create that joy for yourself. Because like I said, when I was having some dark days, it is part of what got me through. That's why I did so many units with music last year, the first semester. Because it was something that brought absolute joy to my class, and my students really enjoy. And again, to this day, they remember. They're still singing the songs from last semester. And there was another song that my half of my class did not hear, that they really love. My class that did have me last semester, they really loved. And they're like, can we do that song so that the other people can learn it? I'm like, I can't repeat a unit. And they were like, yes, you can. We're okay.
Please, we just want to do it again. And how beautiful that they want that feeling for the other students.
Yes.
The feeling that they feel. Like that sort of thing makes me cry. That sort of thing, I'm like unabashedly crying in front of students, like, I am the best guy in the world. Like, oh, I love y'all so much,
Right? Exactly. I mean, we need to hold on to like the good things every day.
Yes. So the course is open right now, and it's going to stay open. However, right now this week, since we've been doing a lot with music and going live and talking to y'all about the strategy we use, we've done an Instagram video together. We've done this live together on our Facebook and YouTube. There's a podcast published on my podcast called Teaching La Vida Loca. Episode 12 is with Bertha. All of those are different, and we've shared different ideas, and it's still this much of what's in that course, which is crazy to me. Like, what?
Yeah.
But what is important to know is that this Sunday is the last day to get it at the price it's currently set at. So if you want to jump on it now while it's still at this current price point, jump on it now, and then after that it's going to go up. Is it $10, Berta?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So if people go to the link right now that is in being shared, they can go. Of course, they can go look through all the page so that they can see this is something they want and all that it offers. But scroll all the way down. If you're ready to make your purchase and you're like, yes, I want this for my class, go all the way down to the bar on the bottom and click there, and it will give you a discount. So that's the only way you can get the discount. But that is going to disappear after Sunday. So we want to just share with you that the discount is happening until this Sunday, which is going to be the 7th.
This is how the page looks when you open it up. So the bar that she's talking about, hold on, let me minimize that. The bar that she's talking about is down here. So you would click the join now from there. But you can see there's a ton of information for you. There's also some reviews on there. There's also, we didn't talk about this bonus resource too. Gosh, there's so much. Jenny Wetzig is my friend. She's a phenomenal upper level teacher in Denver. And she joined my Familia Loca PLC to talk about how she creates whole units from one song. So that's another bonus in there for you. But there's also an FAQ at the bottom. So I encourage you to go and check out the FAQ because there's lots of information there for you too.
And if there are any other questions that are not answered in that FAQ, please feel free to email me. You'll find the email on that page, and you can email me, and I can answer some of your questions. I've actually had responded to about a couple of people who had other questions.
Yeah, and we're both here. We're both here. You all know this. We are connected to our people. We love our people. Amina, we love you. Thank you so much for that. Yes, Haiti, of course I remember. Cascadia was a special conference. It feels like forever ago. Hola, hola. So we will leave this recording on my Facebook and on YouTube, and we'll probably email it out to our people too, for people who missed. But we're grateful for you. Gracias, Eunice, for already buying the course and for trusting us and allowing us to go on this journey with you and your students for music. And gracias, Millie, for all of your contributions in the chat tonight. And gracias a ti, Bertha. You're such an inspiration, and I'm super grateful that you joined me tonight, despite being freaking exhausting or exhausted. Not
You
even
too.
exhausted.
You too. But see, this is the thing. This is the thing. I'm exhausted, and I'm like, but then I show up, and it's like,
And you're re-energized.
so
Yes.
energized. Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
I have one little break in my day between all those 7 classes for a little lunch, and I ate my lunch, and then I came back, and my next class, I was in the middle of a sentence and my brain literally went away, and I looked around and I did my funny like glasses. I was like, class A, what was I just? And they were like, you're crazy. And I said, oh, that's literally my name. Like, hi, nice to meet you. That's literally my name. Also, what was it that I was? And they were like, you were gonna introduce us to rock, paper, scissors in Spanish. I was like, that's it. Okay, brain break time. Thank you. So tired. Okay, I love you. I hope you have a good night. Everybody else, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Annabelle, for everything. So
We're so
yes,
grateful.
yes, Heidi. Yes, yes. I had the honor of meeting Heidi and so many other wonderful
Es
people.
increíble, ¿no? Es increíble. Okay, I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon. I can't wait to reconnect. Adios.
Adios.